1008 TVU Sports, we're back in the building, man, and we're about to hit you with the 2019 Top 5 Junior Division for Week 2. And everybody know that this might be what we like to call every division get one, but the 11-12 is the SEC. And we got that from Week 1, all the action-packed games, the upsets, the lows. You know, we had so much stuff going on within Week 1. We had a whole lot of things going within Week 1. I'm talking about the Goretti beating Harrell and Harrell with Coach Rodney stepping down. I'm talking about the big game from last night with the number 1 Pontchartrain Patriots and the number 3 McHugh Eagles. So let's just say a whole lot of things has just been shaken up. At the end of the top 5, like you know what we're going to do, we're going to hit you with the coaches poll and let you know how the coaches voted. So without further ado, let's jump into the top 5. 5 team. They was number 1. They took a tough loss last night in overtime by the score 18-12. And I'm talking about those Pontchartrain Patriots, led by Coach Ray and Coach Glenn. What I can honestly say about this team, that's still a top-notch team. Like, they lost the game last night to McHugh, but that team came to play ball. The Juice still was the Juice. Calvin still was Calvin. Gregory still was Gregory. But this team, I think that loss going to prove a lot for this team in the long run. You know what I mean? Because last year, this team, they won early and lost late. So I think this team has pressure on them now too. They lost early. Can they win late? So I still think Pontchartrain Patriots are a championship contending team. And that's going to be my team this year that I'm riding with as the team to beat. I still, even though they lost that game, I still think Pontchartrain Patriots going to make their way to play on Championship Saturday. I just do. Let's move along to the number 4 team, making an entry into the top 5, the Goretti Saints. And before I talk about Goretti Saints, I want to give my man Caleb Blanco. I want to tell dude I'm sorry. On the last highlight film I did, I said Carl Reed threw a touchdown pass to Tajay, but it was really Caleb Blanco who called the touchdown pass. So Caleb, my bad, big brother, I got you. Get yourself out the concession stand on me. I made a mistake. But Caleb Blanco, and when you think about Caleb in the Goretti team, that's one of the people that you really, really have to keep an eye on. And this Goretti team is really, really stacked. They upset Harrell last week by a score of 28-6. And like I said, Carl Reed threw 2 touchdown passes, 1 for 52 to Fred Lewis, and 1 for 48 to Caleb Blanco. But then Lil Lennox, this guy cut up. He had two big long runs, both over 60 yards. So Lennox, Carl, can't guard Fred, Caleb, Tajay, my man Cedric on the line. That is the 11-year-old lineman, and Big Cedric is one of those little kids. He's always going to make contact. He's one of my favorite linemen in the league to watch. And I also got to give props to what I call the center of attention from Goretti, Bryson Brown. What's up, B? You get the center of attention, and I got something for you, too. I'll be coming to Goretti to pay you a little visit. Bryson Brown, the center of attention for this week. And what the center of attention is, that's when I give props to the centers. The people that get everything started on the football field. So Bryson Brown is the center of attention. Goretti Saints, Coach Scoob, Coach Monster, Coach Ronald also. Those guys that keep trying to talk to me like, Coach, don't put me in there. Let us stay the underdog role. Don't put me in there. I'm sorry, Coach. I got to put you in there. And the Goretti Saints at the number 4 spot. And the Goretti Saints also have a game coming up this week against the Cutoff Warriors. So Goretti next opponent will be the Cutoff Warriors. So the number 4 team is the Goretti Saints. Let's move along to the number 3 team. The defending champions. Coach B. What's happening? They moved up in the top 5 to hold the number 3 spot. So this is where it started getting good at. Every one of the Willie Hall boys that's supposed to be doing their thing, they doing their thing. They just took care of Rosenwald last week. Ed Celestine hit him across the head. Keith Hill hit him across the head. And 911, Jakai Jacoby Anderson hit him across the head. So when you think about Willie Hall, you think about a team with championship DNA that's moving up in the rankings like they did last year. Remember when they started last year, they started at 5 and they made a transition up and up and up and eventually became the city champions. Can Coach B and staff pull the same thing off again? Coach J already let me know that it's always championship or bust at Willie Hall. He said they got the kids and they doing the things to win a championship at Willie Hall. So that's what we're looking for Willie Hall to see. Can they move up again, knowing that they have a big game coming up, probably the biggest game coming up of this early schedule against Harrell. Because all the controversy that went on at Harrell with Coach Rodney stepping on, is the Harrell team is going to be willing to knock Willie Hall off of that seat and try to get themselves back into the top 5. So the game for me to watch this week will be Harrell versus the number 3 ranked Willie Hall Panthers. Let's move along. The number 2 team. Let's go to break, then come to the number 2 team. How about that? Yeah. The number 2 team. This where it gets tricky at. This where the controversy gonna start at. This where somebody is not gonna want me at their park for a whole week. But the good thing about this number 2 spot is they have to play the team that's gonna be in the number 1 spot. So at the end of the day, it really don't matter because we get a game Saturday between the number 1 and the number 2 teams, and I'm about to let y'all know who I have where. The number 2 team in the 1008 TV U Sports Power Rankings, the Joe W. Brown Spartans. And I know Joe Brown gonna be looking at me, well, how we get to be number 2? How we get to be number 2? Let me explain that. The reason Joe Brown coming in at number 2, I had to base it off strength of schedule. They did what they had to do, they won. So they wasn't punished from winning. But they beat a cutoff team who really didn't come in making a whole lot of noise. But when I think about this Joe Brown team, and let me just hit y'all with something. It's not just about Slim. You're going to get it confused and get it twisted because Gerald, Big 7, he threw for 3 touchdowns last week. As the 11-year-old, Slim caught 2. There's the other kid on the team, Terrence Joseph. Now, everybody going to be trying to game plan to stop Aaron, but you better watch Terrence Joseph because this little dude right here, he a cold-blooded go-getter. And when I think about Amtrak, is Amtrak going to be blocked this year? Is Amtrak going to play every down on both sides of the ball? Is Amtrak going to be the Amtrak that he was at 10 years old? So that's the question with Joe Brown. Now, when we think about this Joe Brown team at number 2, like I say, they have a powerful running back, Lil Diddy. You know, he goes under the radar, and a lot of these guys on Joe Brown's team go under the radar because they play on the team with Slim. I understand that. But they got a big-time game coming up this week against the number 1 McHugh Eagles. And you know how McHugh get to be number 1, right? In order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And what they did last week, what they did on yesterday, was beat the number 1 team, the Pontchartrain Patriots, in overtime by the score of 18-8. And when I think about McHugh, oh my Lord, Norman ain't normal. You heard I said, I'm going to say it again. Norman ain't normal. Norman Taylor put on a show. He had to do it with another great running back in Juice, and he spoke highly of Juice. Check this out. Y'all just had a big time win against the number 1 team in the city. Tell me how you're feeling right now after pulling it off.
Man, I'm feeling great. I feel like if we pull off a win like this, we can pull off any type of win.
And you all special type player. Tell me about that skill set that you have.
Skill set that I have, I mean, I'm a power back when they need me, but I'm also an elusive back when they need me too. So,
one more question. Talk about your counterpart, the Pontchartrain running back, Juice, number 2. What you think about that guy?
Man, he a beast. He really do got the juice. So that's
So moving forward, what's next for Mr. Norman ain't normal?
Winning more games and getting the ship. That's the goal.
Thank you, brother. Now, this whole team is based on a whole lot of good little individual players that I like that collectively make a great team. I was so impressed with that veteran leader, calm and smooth under pressure. Amani Darrensburg. I seen him take some big hits, get up like nothing ain't happened. I seen him throw a touchdown pass to bring in overtime, dap the coach off like nothing ain't happened. I seen him come back and throw the touchdown game to win it. Walk to the side like ain't nothing happened. Cool, calm, collective under pressure, and he made the game-deciding tackle to stop Pontchartrain from scoring on 4th down in overtime. So McHugh Eagles, led by this guy, Amani Darrensburg, he's a real leader. So Amani Darrensburg, gotta always talk about him. Terrell Surtain, oh my God, he caught 2 touchdown passes, the rookie. And coach said he ain't been to practice in 2 weeks down there. So I'm thinking about McHugh and this set of unknowns like they always be. They're always going to be hungry. They're always going to play great defense. And they're always going to hit. So the McHugh Eagles, the #1 team. Before we get out of here, let's talk to some other McHugh players about their big win against the Pontchartrain Patriots. Big overtime win with the touchdown pass to send it to overtime and the touchdown pass to win it. Talk about the win and how you're feeling right now.
It was a tough fight to win. And all of us had to come together and be a team. We all had to take, all our big men had to take a block and work how they work at court. There's nobody.
I'm sorry. Tell me about the coverage that you saw on both of the touchdown passes that you threw. What you saw?
It was pressing them, so I just opened up and just threw it, and then he caught it because he burnt it.
Did you ever lose confidence in your offense or defense?
No.
So tell me how you're feeling about taking out the #1 team in the power ranking.
I feel good. That means I can go to school to brag how we won and beat these other teams.
Thank you, Monty. My favorite player, smallest guy on the team for 2 years in a row. Tell me how you're feeling right now after getting this big upset win over the #1 Pontchartrain Patriots.
I feel great, coach. We've been working so hard. I didn't know we were gonna pull it off, but we did it.
You had so many tackles today. What was going through your mind on the defensive side of the ball?
I was like, yeah, we got him. Yeah, we gonna get him because he was #2. He was running hard, but we gotta come on and catch him. I couldn't let him alone. I couldn't let us down.
So tell me your feeling right now moving forward. What you looking like moving forward for next week?
I'm looking bigger and better.
Thank you, Mike. Kyrie, y'all just upset the #1 team in the city. How you feeling about that win right now?
I feel good, but I feel like we ain't do good enough. Like we could keep going, keep on pushing.
How much pressure was put on you guys before this game?
A lot. We had to keep on focus, keep on practicing, running. Yeah.
Talk about the game that you had against Pontchartrain.
It was tough. I mean, they had a lot of big dudes, but that don't mean nothing. Size don't matter. We just had to keep on focusing.
Talk about that quarterback of y'all's in the mind and the touchdowns he threw.
Quarterback was amazing. Our quarterback was amazing. Yeah.
Tell me something about him.
He just stay focused. And just keep his eyes on the prize and never gave up.
Thank you, Kyrie.
Yeah.
And that's how we rocking, baby. Let's run through this top 5 again. At #5, the Pontchartrain Patriots. At #4, the Goretti Saints. At #3, the Willie Hall Panthers. At #2, the Joe W. Brown Spartans. And at #1, the McHugh Eagles. Now, before we get out of here, let's take a look at how the coaches voted and the point system that the coaches had. That's how we rocking, baby. 1008 TVU Sports. We all the way in the building, and you already know what to do. Holla back. Yeah.